Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Carlos with Filipinos. It's my channel, I'm trying to get off the ground. I got a nice video for you guys, very interesting topic, and I want you guys to listen to it and try to give some thought and maybe make some comments at the bottom. Let me know if I'm alone on this one, or have you guys experienced anything like this or seen anything like this. I want to apologize for the lighting because the video came to mind while I was traveling to visit my girlfriend's family, and I wanted to capture the idea that came into my head, and I shot the video at night, which is not recommended. So please concentrate on the content of the video, not so much the lighting. So sorry about that.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. It all depends. Right now it will be good evening for me. I decided to make this video because I've been watching some videos and listening to some expat complain. What I want to talk about a little bit today, I'll probably show a graphic aid for this, just to help the conversation along, is the fact that when you travel to the Philippines, right, and I think for foreigners, for Westerners, it's going to be the same. Doesn't matter what country you go to, it's going to be the same. You'll be looked at as somebody who has means, somebody who has resources. And whether that's the case or not, it doesn't matter. This is the way you're seen. You could be a retiree, leaving a $950 Social Security pension, and it doesn't matter. You're a foreigner, you travel here from the United States, and the consensus is you have money and you have means. So, and I'm going to illustrate it this way. Here you are on the left, you come to the Philippines, but this is what they see. They see you right here on the left, but they also see this. And this is your bag. And it's not your bag because you come with some baggage, which you may very well do. It's your bag because you come with a bag of money. They don't need to know how much. They don't care how much. The fact is that they know, or at least assume, that you have one. And honestly, you probably do, regardless of the size. You probably do have an access. So here's your Filipina down here at the bottom, right? So when she first sees you, she sees you for who you are, physically. You can see you. She can see you. But in her mind, there is this right here. Hey. Whether is big or small is irrelevant. The way they look at it is way more than what they currently have. And therefore, you will be, not that you might be, you will be in a position to help them, in a position to assist, in a position that to somehow make their lives better. So you are a valuable asset to them. You are the possibility, or you have the potential of getting them out of the situation, and not only that, but also helping her family out of the situation. So what does that entail? But the problem is that getting them out of a situation is one thing. Getting the entire family out of a situation is something completely different. And let me turn this camera around because I want you to guys see where I am right now. We're in the great city of Oroqueta, which is the province seat for Osamis in the great island of Mindanao, which I think is the biggest or the largest area, the largest island by size, by actual land, not by population. Of course, by population, you can't beat Manila with about 15 million people in the metro area. Well, I think it's 16 now. At any rate, again, if you were to assume that you're going to connect to a Filipina and do everything you can to take her under your wing and support her and give her everything she needs, everything she could possibly need, which you very well could, that would be easy enough. That would be plain and simple. But it's not like that. It doesn't work that way. She's going to want to help her family. And by she wanting to help her family means that you help her family. You cannot convince a Filipino, and I would imagine a Thai for that matter, or any of these other countries, that you don't have the means. If you travel here, if you were able to travel here, buy a ticket for 8,000, whatever many thousand miles of travel to come here, that translates to you having the means to help, to support. How to deal with that situation? This is the problem that a lot of foreigners, a lot of expats get into. You have to be able to be in charge. You're already in charge, but be and stay in charge of your financial situation. You cannot relinquish that to anyone else, especially anyone else that doesn't have any kind of experience handling any significant amount of money or monies, because there will be those Filipinas that are savvy with the money. There will be those Filipinas that can handle the financial situation for the home and handle expenses for the home. However, that's not the grand majority. This will be a minority of Filipinas. Chances are, when these Filipinos get on these apps, they're looking for that foreigner to help them support their family or themselves. They're not, hello, you want to say hello to the channel? Say hi, filibusting. This is the channel. She's embarrassed. She don't want to be seen. All right, guys. Sorry about that little interruption. Well, the point being that the kind of Filipina that you will find in a dating app is probably one that is looking to better herself or improve her situation. If you have a Filipina that can manage money, that is a financial wizard or has financial training, business training, any kind of administrative training, and is able to manage her finances, she probably is less likely that she will be on an app, on a dating app, looking for somebody to date in order to receive the benefits of his or her support. And that's the whole point. So reality is that most of us, in spite of whatever it is that we say, we recommend for people to, oh, just come to the Philippines. Don't even get on a dating app. Just come here and meet people, boots on the ground kind of thing. Then you start looking for somebody. But the majority of us, the great majority of us, don't do that. We go on that app. We get that Filipina to meet us at the airport because we want a sense of security, that ease of coming in and having somebody who knows the country, who knows the language, who knows a few things about getting settled in a place, getting settled with a SIM card so you can use your phone, all of those things. So we do that, but we tell other people, oh, don't do that. It's a mistake. It may be a mistake, but the reality is what we do. So I'm saying all this to say that these Filipinas cannot handle money, period. And they will want you to let them handle everything, all the finances, once you get into a relationship with them. Oh yeah, I want to be in charge of the money. My mom was in charge of the house, so I want to be in charge of everything. And that's a mistake. That's a huge mistake. They don't have the know-how. Filipinas and money is not a good mixture. They get money, they're happy, and the next day they don't have it. What happened? Well, you'll get all the excuses. What happened? Well, my mom said we needed this, we needed that, and so I sent her money, and then I wanted these things here, so I bought them. So, how do you protect yourself from that? How do you keep that from happening? Step one is, and this is simple enough, but for some people this is so hard. Remember the bag that I show you? The bag that you come with, that is assumed that you do have it? Well, that's fine that they know you have, but nobody has to know what's in that bag. That's something that you take to your grave. You keep that to yourself. Actually, this is advice that is good anywhere. You were back in the States and you have a bag, nobody needs to know what's in that bag. That's for you to know. Because you know what happens? And I'm sure a lot of you will agree with me, and maybe some of you have seen this before. The minute people know how much money you have in your wallet, how much money you have in your pocket, how much money you have goes through their mind is what they would do with that money. It's just natural. It's a natural reaction to people. Oh, I have this much money in the bank. Oh man, you know what I could do with this? I could pay my house, I could buy a new car, I could get this. And that happens anywhere. Nothing to do with the Philippines. Independent of where you are located at any given point. It happens. So, we got some real bikes coming through here. These are real bikes, big bikes, not scooters. Well, they're going now. So, how do you protect yourself? You have to be discreet. If you can't exercise discretion when it comes to your finances, then you're really opening Pandora's box. You're putting yourself out there. Because once you tell her, for whatever reason, And I suppose we all have our reasons, right? For whatever reason, you tell her, anyone for that matter, but especially a Filipina, you tell her how much money you have. Now you telling her what it is that she could dispose of. And I mean, you're not telling her, but it's going to be her reaction. This is her go-to move. Oh, you got this much money? Oh, so that's okay. That's my money I have to spend. And it doesn't even have to be anything significant. It could be just crap, but they will go down the drain. So how do you avoid that? Discretion. You keep that. Whatever money you have in that bag is your business. Whatever money you get from Social Security or whatever your pension is. I don't care if it's 500 or if it's 5,000 or more. You keep it to yourself. Nobody needs to know what that amount is. You need to know that, and that's it. Nobody ever has to know that information. So if you want to protect yourself and keep these things from happening, this is a situation that I'm not going to say all expats, most expats deal with this. The issue of not being able to manage the finances because they open the trap, they let the cat out of the bag, and now the money they have is to be disposed of by others. You don't have to put yourself in that situation. Keep that to yourself. The other thing is this, and you guys need to listen to me on this. Sometimes you're involved in a relationship with this Filipina, you decide that you're going to help a little bit with the family, which is not uncommon. It's kind of the norm. To be honest with you, it happens. It will happen. You have to be careful with what you sign up for, because if you say, I'm going to do this, it's not a one-time thing. Whatever money, whatever bill you decide to take on, this becomes a permanent thing. It becomes something that is now expected of you. If you pay the rent 1 month and you don't pay the rent the following month, what's wrong with you? Yeah, well, I paid the rent last month. Yeah, that was last month. What about this month? Anyway, you have to be careful with that. Anything else, you decide to buy an AC unit for the family, because when you go over there, it's hot. So you want them to have at least one AC unit, the room that you could go into and chill out when you're there, when you go visit. Well, guess what? You buy the AC unit and you think it ends there, but no, it doesn't end there. And the reason why it doesn't end there is because now the electric bill is higher. So guess what? You got that AC unit. Our electricity is higher now. You need to pay for that electricity too. That's just one example of something that you could do that's for them that is nice, and you think it's a one-time thing. But then there's the generated cost that comes with the item that you decided to be nice and get for them. Another example, let's say you get a brother, somebody has a job but has a hard time getting to work, so they would like to have a scooter. They figure a scooter will help to get them back and forth. So okay, I could get a used scooter for, I don't know, $1,000 maybe less, and you save the money, put the money aside to make the purchase, and you go ahead and get that scooter for them. You're doing something nice, which is great. Hello. But then what happens? Well, you gotta get the scooter registered. You gotta get the scooter inspected. He's gonna need a helmet. He's gonna need to get insurance for the scooter. And you buying the scooter is not enough. The expectation will be that you take care of everything that comes with that scooter, including putting gas in the scooter and money for repairs as needed. And if he gets into a crash the scooter because he was drinking too much San Miguel or too much Red Horse, went out riding drunk, had an accident, assuming that the person doesn't go in the hospital and needs hospital care, which is a bill that you would be expected to pay, you have to fix the scooter. They're not going to fix it. It's not in their budget. So you have to be careful when you try to do something nice that it doesn't come back to bite you. And again, when it comes to your finances, you got to keep your cards close to your chest. Don't lose sight of that. Ultimately, you are responsible for your finances. They're not. And they will behave like they're not. This is not their problem, right? You come here, you work hard all your life, you come to the Philippines, you have a certain amount of money that you built, a certain level of wealth that you built, whatever that amount is, and you have a certain income coming in every month. Whatever that is solely your responsibility. That neither one of those two is completely depleted. Because if you let somebody else know what the amount is, or let him manage either one of those two monies, then you have no one else to blame but yourself. If you're all of a sudden broke and your paycheck is not enough to pay the bills that have to be paid every month because you have taken into too much responsibility and spread that paycheck way too thin. You need to be responsible for yourself. You need to be in charge. You call the shots. You make the decisions. My money goes where I said it goes because it's the money that I earned. It's the money that I built over the years. So for these guys that come over and say, oh, she scammed me and and she took all my money. Well, you can't really call it a scam, because when you're scam, people are taking your money under false pretense. But when somebody stands in front of you and asks you for any kind of money, any amount of money, for whatever reason, and you hand over that money willingly, that's not a scam. That was a decision you made, and that's a decision you need to be responsible for. Because let's be honest, it was a bad decision. Your money, your savings, you dispose of it. And of course, we're going to have the guys that, yes, they are married to a Filipina for 20 or 30 years, and the Filipina handles all the finances, and they're fine, and they're living a happy life, and everything is great. And that's fantastic. I'm happy for you, and that's great. Can it happen? Yes, it can happen. However, you are the minority, my friend. You are a great minority. It doesn't happen all the time. Most of us have to fight to keep what we built and to keep what we earn on a monthly basis, just to make the day-to-day bill, pay for the day-to-day necessities. And if you let somebody else handle it, you could find yourself in a situation assuming that everything's taken care of, because you're not going to get the truth right away. You're not going to be told, oh yeah, hey, we spent a little bit too much this month, so I won't be able to pay the rent. I won't be able to pay the electric. I won't be able to pay the Wi-Fi. If you don't want to find yourself in those situations, again, you're in charge. So I hope you guys listen to this, because this is what I've seen in the 2 years that I've been here. And I've been in a situation when I was asked to relinquish control of the money, all of the money. And I said, no, we're not doing that. I'm doing okay. I have no issues over here. The bills get paid every month on time. Not a problem. I take care of business. When it comes to the income I have on a monthly basis, not a clue. Doesn't need to know. When it comes to savings that I may have, that I built over the last 40 plus years, doesn't need to know. Doesn't need to know at all. That is my business. That's something I generated. I control it. And again, some of us, here's the problem, guys. Some of us want to leave with the wallet. I've heard that expression so many times. At the beginning, I didn't know what the heck that meant. But we want to leave with the wallet because we want to impress this young lady. We want to make sure that oh yeah, I got this. And I did a lot of research before coming out here. Never felt the need to do that. You know what my statement was? This is what I told her. This is my promise to her. I said to her, I did some numbers on a piece of paper, whatever, and I said to her, look, I think we're going to be fine. We will be fine. And that's it. That's all she needed to know from me. And that's all I'll let her know. That's what you get. You complain, well, my friends, other foreigners, they let the Filipina handle the money and they're in charge of the house. I said, well, that could be other foreigners. That's not the way I do business. And I'm glad, because I did do a few tests, handing some money over, and the results were not good. The tests were failed. A couple of times I gave her money because I was going to the States, and I figured, okay, so she wanted to handle 1 month expenses, where she was going. Not expenses here that we have here, it's where she was going to her mom's house. So I gave her an amount that should carry her to a month. Well, the end result, it lasted, I want to say 4 days. It could have been 3 days. 3 days, I'm getting calls back saying, hey, what about all the money I gave you? Well, I didn't get that. Whatever. I did not want to hear it. So she paid the price for that. She had to do without. Am I being a hard ass? Am I being a hard nose? No. I'm just telling you what I did. And you could listen to it and get some ideas from it. Or you do whatever you want, of course. Hello, how y'all doing? All right. But I'm trying to keep you from falling into this pit that a lot of us seem to fall in. And again, it's happened. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? So, I'm back in the neighborhood. We're gonna put this video to rest. Guys, listen, I hope you understand what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to make it sound like I got all the answers, because I don't. I mean, I did have my little fumbles here, but nothing big, nothing that will take me down. I mean, I hear a lot of stories about different foreigners that come in, either here or in Thailand, and they get their life savings depleted by a Thai or a Filipina, and they end up buying homes that they kicked out of, eventually end up getting kicked out of. The house that you built, you buy the land, you furnish the land, take care of everything, and then eventually you get kicked out of the property. So that's what I'm trying to get you guys to avoid, all right? At any rate, we're going to end it here, and hopefully I'll talk to you guys later.